So today I'm going to be talking about medias. That's what we're going to be talking about today. Medias. So this is what we did in the last class. We talked about table in the last class. But today we are talking about medias. Just going to type it. All right. So when we say media, what we're actually talking about are things like uh, let me see if there's a way I can work with this. Okay. So when we talk about media, we are talking about things like images, videos, and the rest. So for media, we have images. Another example of media or type of media is videos, or not audio, videos. And I think we have another one. I think there are three now, which is audio. So these are the things we are going to be talking about today. How to add images, video, and audio to our websites. All right. So the first thing we need to do, let's start with image. So if I want to add image to my web page, the first thing you need to do is to get your image. You understand? The image you want to add to your web page, you need to get it first. That's the first thing you do. So let's go back to our project. Now, this is the project we built the last time, the portfolio, Anita Joyce portfolio. So I'll just run this on my browser. Let's see. All right, so it's starting now. Okay, so this is the portfolio. So we want to add an image here. We want to add an image of Anita portfolio for Anita Joy. Sorry, I said Anita portfolio for Anita Joy. So to do this, we need to get an image. Uh, so we can get image online, but if you have in your computer system, you can. But for those that don't have, let me show you how you can get images. So to get images, you can go to freepic.com. So if you go to freepic.com, you can get images from there. You can get images from freepic.com. So here in freepic.com, I'll just search for um, lady on or lady portrait. Let me just use this. I'll just say search and it's going to search for portrait photos for me. So right here, as you can see, I have so many photos. So let me just pick one. Mm, I think I like this one. Now, not all of them are free though. Some of them are paid. You need to subscribe to their plan to download them. For example, whenever you see this icon at the top, you know it's not free. It's for pro users. So these ones they are for pro users. All right, so let's get something. Let's try this one. So I'll click on this. Uh, okay, then I will just download. So you download, and I'll just click on this arrow here and download the small size. Now, when adding images to your website, make sure the size of the image you're adding to your website is not too large because that will affect the performance of your web page. So it will take your website to load. All right, it will slow down your website when loading. Sorry. So right here, I've downloaded the image, so I'll just go look for it, look at it here. So I'll open this, it's inside my download folder. So this is it here. I will just copy the image. All right, click, and I'm going to copy. So I'll just say copy. Then I will go to my desktop and go to my website folder, which is this one, Classwork Portfolio. That's the name of my project. If you go to VS Code, you see there, look at it here, Classwork Portfolio. So that's the name of the project. So I'll just go there So classwork portfolio, and I'll click and I'll just paste the image there. Right click and say paste. So as you can see, the image is now there. If you don't like the name of the image, you can rename the image. So I can say, no, I don't want to open it. So you can rename, I can just right click on the image to just change the name so I can remember the image. So I'll come here, I'll right click on the image and I'll just call this profile. So when I say profile.jpg, I'll come down here to my, I'll come back to my code and you can see the profile.jpg. This is inside the PS code. All right. So how do I add this image to my website? How can I add this image to my website? So to add this image to your website, we'll make use of something called the img tag. That's what we make use of. So you make use of the img tag. So with the img tag, I can add this to my website. So this is how we do that. Okay, so let's go back to the website. Now I want to add it to the, where am I putting it? Let's come back to the website. So I want to add it to the top of the website. All right, so to do that, or rather after the H1, let's add it after the H1. So after the H1, I'll just come down here and type img. So using the img tag, you see that we have two tags. You have two attributes that you can add to it. Last week we talked about attributes in our last class. So we have the src attribute and the auth attribute inside the image tag. And you also notice something, that this image tag doesn't have a close tag. It doesn't have a close tag. Now, this kind of tag, we'll call them self-closing tag. Call them self-closing tag because they don't have a close tag. I talked about self-closing tag when we talked about BRO and HRO elements. So these are self-closing tag. They don't have closing tag. IMG is one of them. All right. So here in the SRC, what you provide is the paths, the location to your profile.png. So what you simply put here is the path. How would index.html locate the image you are trying to um, add? So if you check the image you are trying to add and index.html, they are on the same path. So what we just do here is to tell index.html, please just look for a file called profile.jpg. That's what we do. So you just say profile.jpg. And when you do that and save, so let me save. Okay, I've saved this. Now, if you come back to my web page, you see the image is on my page. So let me explain this to you. Now we are using profile.png because we are currently inside this is the index file, and the index file and profile.jpg are on the same location. But let's say, for example, we had a folder called images. So we have a folder called images, and profile.jpg is inside images folder. So let me move it to images folder and I'll say move. All right. So as you can see, profile.jpg is now inside images folder. Now, if it's like this and you try to add it like this by just saying profile.jpg, if you go to the website, you see that it's not going to show up. It won't show up because that's the wrong part. The index.html cannot locate any file here called profile.jpg. So what we have to do is to say, in this part here, we have images, and inside image, we have profile.jpg. So that's how it's been done. So I will just say images slash profile.jpg, meaning that I need to go through images first before I can locate the profile.png. So that's how it works. Same thing, if you have like a subfolder there also, let's say inside this images folder, I have another folder called uh, pics, for example, and this guy is inside the pics folder. Same thing, it will now be images slash profile slash pics slash profile.jpg. So if I save what I have here, which is images slash profile, if you come to the page, you see that the image is not showing there. But if I add pics there, and come back, you see that the image is now showing up. You understand? So that's one thing you should understand. So the parts you are adding should be correct, should correspond with what you have here. All right, so let's go back to the default. So I'll remove everything here and just use profile.jpg, and I'll make sure my profile.jpg is right here. Or rather, I normally try to group files together. So let's start doing it now. So I will just move this guy to images since it's part of our image. So I'll just move it to image, and I'll just come here and just say this is inside images slash profile.jpg. That's all. So that's what the SRC attribute does for you. Then, as you can see, we have another attribute here which is called the auth attribute. Now, the auth attribute, what it does for you is to provide an alternative text. So that's what the auth stands for, alternative text. So the auth simply means an alternative text to display whenever the image cannot be loaded. The alternative text to display whenever the image cannot be loaded. So let's say, for example, I add my profile image. You can put anything there, but whatever you are adding to your auth should describe your image. So right now, if I save this now and come back, you won't see the auth. The auth will show on the page because the image can be loaded. Remember, I told you that it will only show if the image cannot be loaded. All right. So let's say, for example, we did something like user.jpg. Sorry. So our image part will say the user.jpg. Now, if you check, we don't have anything called in our images folder. We don't have anything called the user.jpg. So which means this image cannot load. Now, because this image cannot load, we are going to see the auth text. So if I save this now, come back to the page. As you can see, the auth text is there, my profile image, and as you can see, it has this field icon. We're showing you that the icon cannot be, the image rather cannot be loaded, but we'll have the auth text there. So at least this auth text, since the image cannot be loaded, the auth text will describe the image that this is a profile image rather. So that's how it goes. So here we'll just come back and provide a valid name, which is profile.jpg. So that is that for images. That's that for image. There are other things you can do though. There are other things like you can resize the image. As you can see, this image is too big. You might make it small or big. So to make it smaller, we are going to use width, and I'm going to set the width to like 100. So if I use something like 100, if I come back here now, you see the image is very small. And if you use something like 1000, you can see the image is big. You understand? They can make it 5000. It's also go bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, just like that. So you see the image is now very wide. You understand? So that's how it is. But I think 200 will be okay for the size. And we are good like this. So this is the profile of this lady. All right. There are other things you can do. I can also specify the height, but don't add width and height. But you can also add heights. You can resize the height. So I can say the height is like 300. But I don't advise you do this. Don't set width and height. Only set width or height. Set width or height. The reason is that if you set it wrongly, it's going to destroy the image. As you can see, I see now the lady is now stretching because I'm using the wrong size for the height. So what you need to do is set only the width. The browser automatically set the height, or you set the height, then the browser automatically sets the width. That will suit the image. So that's how it is. So I'm just going to set the width instead and leave the height. So this is how you make use of the image tag. This is how you make use of the image tag. Now let's go to the next one. Um, we've talked about image. We deal with this guy. Now let's deal with this one here. Let's deal with this one here. So we are going to add videos. Now to add video to our website. Oh, sorry, I forgot something about the image. Now, aside images in your website, you can add images outside the website. That is, images on the internet. You can also do that. Yes. Whenever you see an image on the website and you want to add it to your website, you can do that. But one thing I want you to notice is that the disadvantage of doing that is that whenever the owner of those websites deletes that image or that image is no longer available in that website, it will no longer show in your website. That's one thing you should know. So let me just show you what I'm talking about. So let's go over to Google. Let's go over to Google, or rather, I think I can do it from here directly. I can do it from here. So let's say I like this. Oh, let me pick another one. Let me pick this guy here. Now I like this image and I want to add it to my website, but I don't want to download it. So I like this image. I want to add it to my website, but I don't want to download it. All you need to do is when you see the image, right click on it, come to copy image address. Click on copy image address. When you do that, then just come to your code and replace it. Just put it inside your SRC. So I'll just paste it here. All right. So you see the address is very long, very long. So this is the address, very long. So I'll save this, come back to my web page. As you can see, the image is showing there. So you can also add images from the standard website by just copying the image address and pasting it inside the SRC attribute value, and you're going to get the image showing up. Okay, let's go back to default. Okay, so that's that for image. Now let's talk about videos. Let's talk about videos. So add video to your website. So let's just do it at the bottom here for now. So to add video to your website, you make use of the video elements. Yeah. Now this tag, there are more to them, not just this attribute. There are other attributes you can add to this tag. Like I said, I will always put them in the classroom. I will always add them to your classroom material so you can read them up. So we have the video tag for video elements. And if it's just one single video you have, you can link it like this. So just add the video tag, and let's remove this for now. Let's not talk about the attributes for now. Let's focus on the element itself. Now, what do you add here? Now, inside the video element, you can add anything you want the user to see if their browser does not support video. So, for example, if I come here and say, please, or rather, I can say, your browser cannot play video. So, if you do this, what happens is that if the person loading the website, if the browser does not allow video, they are going to see this text. Are you there? They are going to see this text your browser. So whatever you put here, that's what they are going to see. Cannot be text. You can add an image or something. You understand? I can that image I have at the top of my page. I can just copy it and paste it inside here. They will see that image if their browser does not support video. So that's that for that. Then how do you add the video itself? So to add the video, you just put it inside this source tag. Yeah, I'm sorry, this source attribute, not tag attribute. So you put it inside the source attribute. So all you just need to do, just like we did for image, but this time around it will be video. So if you have video, you just put the parts for the video inside here. So let's go get our video. So I'll just copy that video. This is here. This is the video here, and I'll just put it here. Okay. So this is the video. Let me rename the video because the name is too long. So let me rename this. So I'll just call this video. Let's just say video. Alright. So to add this video to my website, I'll just if you check index and video on the same page, and I'm currently working on the index file. So I'll just say video.mp4. But if it's inside the folder, I'll say that folder slash video.mp4. So in this case, I'll just say video.mp4. And if I save this now and come back to my web page, you would see that oh, this one is loading now. I don't think I need this again. I don't need it. So let's just continue with this one. So as you can see, we have the video here, but you cannot play the video. As you can see, the video is not playing and you cannot play it. So to play the video, how do you play the video? To play the video, we need to add controls. Now, controls is that those buttons you usually have in your video, like play button, forward button, backward button, volume, and the rest of them. So we need to bring up those buttons. So to add those buttons, you add an attribute here called controls. Now, I know yesterday I told you guys that attributes must have value. They must be equal to and value here. But there are some attributes in HTML that don't require value. They don't require value. Now, these attributes, we call them Boolean attributes. That's what we call them, Boolean attributes. Now, Boolean attributes are attribute that doesn't require value. If you add those attributes, it is true, meaning yes. If you don't add the attribute, it means no. So you see that it is present or not. That's Boolean. Alright, so this kind of attribute, they don't need value. So the value is not important. So once you just add the controls there, it means you are saying the video tag should have control. So if you save it now, come back to the web page, you see now that the video now has control. You see it has play button, you can now forward it has volume button and all that. So I can now so today we are focusing on the I can forward the video as you can see and all that. So that's that. Another thing is the size. If you check the video is too big, you can reduce it. Same thing, just like the image. I can say width is 300. So if I save this now and come back, you see the video is now small. Okay. Uh, Another thing you can add is another attribute you can add is loop. Now, what loop does is that what it does is it allows the video to loop. So what loop means is that if this video plays up to the end, so today we are focusing on if it plays to the end, so today we are focusing on it will automatically start from the beginning again. But if you don't have that loop attribute, when it plays to the end it will stop. But if there's a loop attribute, when it plays to the end it will start all over again. So that's what the loop attribute does. Then we have another attribute you can add. Now, are you seeing how I'm arranging the attributes? Any attribute that is a Boolean attribute, I always add them at the end. Then this one that have value will come first. That's how I arrange my attributes. And another attribute you can add is called poster. Poster. So with the poster attribute, you can add a thumbnail to your video. You can add a thumbnail. Now, thumbnail is that image that will show when the video has not started playing. That's the thumbnail. So I can use this image as a thumbnail. This image will have here. I can use it as a thumbnail for the video. So that's inside images slash profile.jpg. So I'll save this now. And if I come back to the page, you see the image is there. And when I start playing the video, it goes out. So today we are focusing on so that's poster. That's poster. So when the page loads up, you see the poster there, and we start playing, the poster goes out. So that is that for video. That's that for video. There are more to video, but at this beginner level, we don't need those complex stuff. These are just the basics. Remember, this is a beginner tutorial, so we are just focusing on the basics. All right, there are other attributes you can add like autoplay. Now, what autoplay does is that it automatically play the video if you don't have controls. If you don't have controls, you can. Or yeah, if you have or you don't have, it will definitely autoplay. So if I save this and come back to the video, you'll see that the video will automatically. So today we have. I think the way it works on browsers is that if you want to add autoplay to your video, always make sure that it's muted by default. Yeah. So if you want your video to autoplay, you add a muted attribute also to mute it by default. So that video should be muted by default, so autoplay can work. I think if you over on it, I think the documentation is there. I don't know if they added it, but if you read it up, I don't know, you might see it there. So if I come back now, and I see now the video is playing, look at it, it's counting. I didn't play it, it's just counting. Why? Because it's muted. So that is how it works. So if you want your autoplay to work properly, you mute the video by default by adding the muted attribute, and the video is going to play automatically. So that's that for video. Same thing, you can also get any video from the internet, right click on the video, copy the video address and paste it here, and that video will work perfectly, just like we did for image. So that's that for video. So let's talk about other types of videos like embedded videos like YouTube videos. Now, what if I want to add YouTube video to my website? It's very easy. All you need to do that is mm, just go to YouTube. Should I open another tab? Yes, let me open another tab. So just go to YouTube, YouTube.com. Just go to YouTube. All right, so these are the different YouTube videos. Just click on any one. For example, I will use this one, and I will just copy the. I'll just go to share. This share. Click on the share
Once
button.
everything's perfect.
So just look around the video. You see a share button. Click on that share button. When you click on share button, you are going to see different options to share to. Just select embedded. You see this embedded here. Now I see my internet is slow. So I'll just click on embedded. So if I click on embedded, you are going to see the tag here. You see the HTML tag that you can copy. So there are some things you can do though before you copy. You can set where you want the video to start from. So if I don't want the video to start from the beginning, I want to start from a specific point. You can just put the time here that you want it to start. Then show controls. If you want the controls of the video to show while the users are playing it, you click on this. But if you don't want it, you don't check it. So the control is not going to show up and all that. Enable privacy enhancement. I don't really know what this does, but that's it. So when you are done doing your setting up your whatever you want to set, okay, let's make it show controls. Then we can now copy. Just click on copy. So when you click on copy, go back to your code and you can just paste it there. Just paste it anywhere. So just put it anywhere. So you see they're using something called an iframe tag. Now an iframe tag is used to show another resource on your website. It's used to display another resource on your website like PDF. You can use it to display PDF documents, external videos, external images, whatever you want to display, you can use an iframe. Any resource you have on the internet that you want to show on your website, you can even use an iframe to display another website on your website. You can do that with an iframe. So, example of this is, let's say, for example, you are selling a template. You can use an iframe tag to display the website templates for the users. So just like that. So this is it. I will just save this now. I save this, come back to my web page, and you will see the YouTube video there. So look at the YouTube video, and you see that the YouTube video can play on my website. It's me, so that is how it works. That's how you work with videos in uh, HTML. All right, so the last thing we're going to talk about is audio. That's the last thing we're talking about. Now, audio and video is the same. Everything I talked about, audio and video, is the same. The only difference is that when working with audio, instead of using the video tag, we use audio tag. We use audio tag instead and use audio. Every other thing is the same, aside from these two. We don't have root attributes and we don't have poster attributes, I think. So, yeah, I think that's the only thing you don't need. So, every other thing is the same. And you can also use a video as your audio source to work, but just that you are not going to be seeing the video, but you are going to be hearing the audio of that video. That's how it is. But it's good. I don't want to download because it's going to take me time. So I don't want to download any audio, but you can do that. You can just download any audio and put it here. It's definitely going to be in the MP3 format. So let's say this. We can use this video to work, or we're not going to be seeing the video because we're using the audio element. So if you come back to the page, and as you can see, this is here, and you notice that it's autoplaying because you have the autoplay attributes. So if I unmute it,
and
you
what they are
see
used for.
it's playing. So you see every other thing does the same. The controls, if I remove the controls, you are not going to see the audio on the screen. So if you come back, as you can see, you can't see any audio on the screen. Now you only do this when you want to, for those creating games. If you play any games online and you are hearing sound, that was how they added the sound. They just add an audio element with task control attribute so that it doesn't show in the page. So when you hit, let's say you hit the enemy, they will just play the sound and you hear that yeah those kind of sound. They are just audio element that they are playing behind the scene. You are just hearing the sound, but you are not seeing the element because they don't have control attributes. So this control attribute is what will make the user see the audio and play and interact with the audio. So that's how it is. So any question?